All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. I'm going to do something I haven't done for 4 years, and that is address the person who calls themselves the chosen one, which they absolutely are not, unless the qualities for being the chosen one are a fraud, a liar, a deceiver, and an absolute loser. And if you guys like RFG Chosen One, you know what I got to say to that? Losers like losers. And, this clown, I'm always hearing noise that RFG's still trying to talk shit, trying to put down the work, trying to mislead people from Gematria. What else would you expect from a fraud? This guy's been embarrassed and put in his place so many times, but he continues to talk on and, just talk straight from his ass. And every year he's charging big money for broke-ass picks because he hasn't ever gotten anything right except for the 2 years he copied me on Broncos over Panthers, and why LeBron would win on the real King James's birthday. That's all he's ever gotten correct. And every year he's just putting out the most whack-ass picks and making excuses and saying the league switched up the pick. It's just a joke. It's a joke. The other year he thought the Super Bowl was going to be the Bills, or I can't remember what it was, the Jaguars and somebody, just some ridiculous pick. And he's like, oh yeah, the league's, it's just like, dude, shut it down. Shut it down. This man continues to talk sideways about Gematria and deter his community from the truth, and it's absolutely pathetic because as a black man, to be leading people away from Gematria, it is a sin, it is a crime. This knowledge cuts right through the way they contrive propaganda to shame black men every single day, and it's so transparent when you know this code. And him and his old wingman, Bro Sanchez, they both try to talk shit about this work. They both mislead people, and they both try to talk shit about the truth. They're two frauds from the same camp. And again, I'm just going to have to put, I'm just so sick of RFG in every video trying to put down Gematria. So I'm just going to play him in his own words here, and then we're going to go back and watch him from 4 years ago when he said it would be the end of Gematria because I was wrong that the Warriors were going to beat the Cavs in 2017, the year after. He thought the Cavs were going to win back-to-back, and I was like, no, the Warriors are winning this year, man. It's as clear as anything. And anyway, we'll go back and watch that clip, but here, I just want to play him making excuses. And yeah, he did call the Bucks to win over the Chiefs once that was the set Super Bowl match, but these aren't the teams he had in the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, we had Bucks over Chiefs before the season began. So anyway, I'm just going to play him in his own words, and then we're going to address why he's absolutely ridiculous.
You see what I'm saying?
This is RFG Chosen One.
Saying? So when the agents see what the sports decoders are saying on YouTube, they are relaying the message back to the sports leagues, all right? And they are altering these professional sport championship outcomes, okay? That's what's going on. And every time every time the elites want to give the sports decoders of the middle finger, every time these professional sports leagues want to give us the middle finger, what do? They give their golden boys their championships, all right? Every time these sports leagues want to give the people the middle finger, they just give the championships to their fucking golden boys. It's not, it's not rocket science, folks. There's a lot of people who get all enticed and get all hyped up and excited off of this Gematria shit. And I'm telling you, that Gematria shit, I'm telling you, man, it makes you go crazy because it has you writing equations all over your bedroom walls. That Gematria shit has you clowns writing long-ass algebraic equations all over your goddamn bedroom walls. When the answer to your fucking question is very fucking simple.
It's so simple that he didn't get it right the first time. He had to take 10 mulligans, and then finally, even when it's normally down to 2 teams, he can't get it right. But this year he did, so cheers to him for that. And again, I'm just tired of him talking out of his ass. Gematria is not hard at all. It wasn't hard to see that Brady was going to win in the GOAT ritual this year. Again, let's just do it and see how simple it is. Tom Brady birthday, August 3rd, 77, and from his birthday to the Super Bowl on February 7th, let's see, 8/3/2020 to February 7th, the day of Super Bowl 55, was 188 days later. And back when I first started this, I explained the most simple cipher. The most simple cipher. Let's just do it back like how we used to do it back in the day. You know, used to do it on the whiteboard. If you write out greatest of all time, it's 188. Like it was 188 days after his 43rd birthday. That stands for GOAT, 43. Now, are these algebraic equations just making you go crazy? No, this shit is simple. And every year we show these simple riddles that lead right to the promised land. You know? Just like how we showed August 13th. And we were watching this game before it even happened. We saw that there were Super Bowl rituals going on in the Rays and Red Sox series. But here, I'll just show you right here. August 13th, 2020, Red Sox Rays. The Rays won 17-8, right? Tom Brady had just gone to Tampa, leaving Boston. You got Tampa beating Boston 17-8. That was August 13th. August 13th, 10 days after Brady's birthday, just like how he'd go into his 10th Super Bowl. But that was 178 days before the Super Bowl. 17-8, 17-8. And again, in that most simple cipher, Mayor Jane Castro, 178. And from her birthday this year to the Super Bowl was 62 days. And, you know, like I was teaching back when RFG was first trying to talk shit about this in 2013, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 62. Back then, I used to only know these two ciphers. You know, Mahomes falls to 6-2 against the Bucs. This stuff isn't algebraic equations. Patrick Mahomes falling to 6-2 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 62. This shit's easy. This shit is easy. Even a retard like RFG could do this. So why does he keep misleading his community? Why does he keep talking out of his ass and embarrassing himself year after year? Whack-ass pick year after year, charges a bunch for it, wrong, makes excuses, says the league flipped it. It's like, dude, you live down in Vegas. How do we all know you don't work for the casinos? To me, I got a real suspicion about that. You got the Masonic-looking compass on your thing. You know, you live in Vegas. You put out the worst picks year after year. Just ridiculous picks. It's like, man, people are paying for that? I know who your followers are. Not the smartest people. But again, just to go back in time, I just want you to listen to this clown talk. This is the 2017 NBA Finals. He's going at me saying that the Warriors are not going to beat the Cavs. He was saying LeBron was going to win back-to-back. Just listen to him talk. Listen to what a clown he is, and then watch my follow-up. See who's got the smarts here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you today that it is over for the Gematria ass clowns. It is over for the Gematria ass clowns. It's over. They're done.
And again, this is 2017. I just want you to understand, we brought in millions and millions upon dollars, literally, for the community of people who follow this work. That's why I have a big following on Patreon. Lots of money for a lot of people. RFG, meanwhile, has been helping a lot of people lose a lot of money, been helping his neighbor casinos win a lot of money with his bogus-ass picks and the expensive amounts he charged for it. You know, you guys, the reality between me and RFG is like, let's say, you know, you could have a beat-up old piece of shit car that's going to literally fall apart as soon as it gets out of the parking lot off the used car lot. That's what RFG's giving you. Or you could have like, you know, top-of-the-line car that's going to run solid for you for 20 years. But then the other thing about this is, it's like I'm charging you nothing for that great car that's going to last forever. RFG is charging you like it's some luxury car. You know what I mean? That's why you got to be a real fool to be shopping on RFG's lot. Now let's listen to this idiot some more.
Over. Game over. Okay? So Zachary Greenblatt, you can take that.
And notice also this idiot calls me Zachary Greenblatt, which every shill does. Like there's something they want to paint that I'm Jewish and that my name's Greenblatt. My name is Zachary Hubbard. Anyone can look me up. You can even find my address. A lot of people have and have sent me stuff in the mail. But again, just a disingenuous, lying little scumbag here. That's who RFG is.
Pie ritual and throw the goddamn pie in your clown ass face. Okay? Everybody watching our channels, they're going to take that pie ritual you were talking about, and they're going to throw it in your goddamn face because you're a clown.
And again, that's exactly what didn't happen. It ended up back in his face because he was wrong and I was right, which is always the case, except for when he copies me. But again, I also want to make a point. RFG's channel never been taken down once. Never once. You know why it's never been taken down? Because it's no threat to anybody. It's no threat to anybody. I've been deleted 19 times. And what's funny is on my main channel, I have about as many subscribers as RFG does right now. And his channel's been up since 2012. My latest channel's been in use since the beginning of 2020. So again, RFG, like I told you many years ago, if you'd stop talking shit and start sharing this knowledge, you'd have a bigger following, you'd have more respect, you'd have more success, but you could just continue to sit there with that pouty, ugly-ass look on your face, lying to everybody like a fucking fraud.
The pie ritual is going to be thrown in your fucking face because you're a fucking clown.
Ooh, well, that is not what the fans signed up to see.
Probably upgrade those too.
In case you forgot that commercial, it was new at the time. But that's exactly what it reminded me of, just watching RFG. I was like, split shorts, man. Not looking good for you. So anyway, RFG also said that the pie ritual is bullshit. Well, this whole series got put away on a pie ritual, which is what I'm about to explain.
Poor RFG. He dissed the truth, and the truth dissed him. You don't want to be an RFG. You don't want to be a blind, shit-talking hater of the truth. All year, from October 25th, 2016 up to the present, I documented the pie rituals with the Golden State Warriors. And what happened on Mother's Day made it quite clear that the Warriors would be the champions of the scripted NBA Finals this season. Tonight in Game 5, there was one last major pie tribute, and it was given appropriately to Kevin Durant. In the third quarter, Kevin Durant made a big three-pointer that gave the Golden State Warriors 93 points. And after that shot, the clock was stopped at 3.14. A lot like pi, 3.14. A lot like March 14th, Pi Day, Steph Curry's birthday. Remember what's symbolic about 93. 93 is the number for Saturn, the keeper of time, and time has to do with circles and cycles like pi. Kevin Durant's born September 29th, the day that leaves 93 days left in the year, and of course Oracle Arena in Gematria sums to 93 like Saturn. In case you missed what I showed on Mother's Day, let's review it one more time. Everyone needs to know. On Mother's Day, they kept showing Steph Curry's mother, Sonia, in the audience. And on Mother's Day, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant combined for a season-high 74 points, reminding instantly of the fact that Kevin Durant joined the Warriors on July 4th, 7/4/2016, which was exactly 314 days before the two combining for 74 on Mother's Day. 314 is a lot like 3.14. Let's also not forget that the city of Oakland had not won a pro sports championship while the game was in the city of Oakland since 1974. 2 years ago when the Warriors beat Cleveland, they won it in Cleveland. So tonight, Game 5, June 12th, 2017, the first time since 74. Also, the Mother's Day game, it was with the record 25-point comeback, reminding us of the Super Bowl, where the Patriots had the scripted 25-point comeback, winning on 2/5 and winning the AFC's 25th Super Bowl all time. As I pointed out, if the Warriors won the championship this year, it would be the 25th championship win for the West in the modern era of the NBA. I said why the Patriots would win the Super Bowl based on 25 and a pie ritual. Go back and see my work the day Tom Brady returned, and how Bill Belichick got his 227th career win. Remember, 22 divided by 7's pi. Bill Belichick got his 227th win that day against Cleveland Now here's Golden State doing the same thing over Cleveland. But Sonia, 25, the 25-point comeback on Mother's Day with Sonia in attendance. Pi 25, Finals 25, Kevin 25, Kerr 25. 25 years ago, Steve Kerr played for the Cavs and wore the number 25. You don't want to go against the truth seeker. RFG Chosen One is not here for the truth. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made that ridiculous video and he wouldn't have made a buffoon of himself. You know, I documented this all year. I've been documenting these same patterns for years. They're undeniable unless you're brain dead. So if RFG Chosen One's a man, he's going to come back and apologize. Otherwise, you know, it's just going to be more of the same for this man. Running off the court with his pants split, making an embarrassment of himself and everyone else who follows him. Until next time, Truth Seeker.
Well, that is not what the fans signed up to see.
So again, I mean, you know, and nothing's changed. I haven't addressed him since that video. That video's from 4 years ago. The dude is just a bitch. He just keeps talking shit. He has nothing. I mean, there's no reason to be talking shit. In the time that he's been striking out left and right at the plate, we've been hitting grand slams every season. When was the last time we missed on a future? I can't even remember. You know what I mean? We've just been murdering rig sports, elections, news, everything, and showing how it's done by a very simple code, not algebraic equations driving yourself nuts like he's trying to lie to people about. This stuff is straightforward. This stuff is simple. And, again, just to review some things that should be extra interesting to RFG. Again, let's just pull up Patrick Mahomes' stats here. Let's pull up Patrick Mahomes' stats and see what they did to him in this Super Bowl. Again, he came into the Super Bowl with 42 touchdowns for the season. Again, he had 38 in the regular season, like how he ended up on the Super Bowl on the 38th day of the year, and he had 4 in the postseason. You see that? And notice coming into the Super Bowl, he had 4 touchdowns and no picks. He threw 2 picks in the Super Bowl. So he ended up with 4 touchdowns and 2 picks and was stuck on, that for the postseason, 4-2, and was stuck on 42 total touchdowns for the year. And remember what happened the year before. The year before, Mahomes had 42 pass attempts, and only 3 black quarterbacks have ever won the Super Bowl. Mahomes, who did it with 42 attempts, Russell Wilson from the 42nd state, Washington, in order of statehood, and Doug Williams, who scored 42 points and set the NFL record with 4 touchdowns in the second quarter, 4-2, 42. And again, this year's Super Bowl was synced up with the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Stanley Cup and the Tampa Bay loss in the World Series on the anniversary of Jackie Robinson's funeral, where his Dodgers won 4-2 over Tampa. And again, we know what's up with 42. This stuff's not rocket science. For RFG's followers, there's 4 ciphers to know. The alphabetic order, where A is 1 up to Z is 26. Again, that was the cipher I've taught since the beginning. Along with the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, it's still A is 1 up to Z is 26, but you incorporate numerology. You see how Z is 8? That's because the numerology of 26 is 2 plus 6 is 8. Y is 25, but the numerology of 25 is 2 plus 5 is 7. X is 24, but the numerology of 24 is 2 plus 4 is 6. And I do know that RFG in recent years, he's renamed this some other thing. It's really called Pythagorean Gematria. He's calling it something else and actually doing this in his videos now. We know where you learned from, buddy. This is the only compliment I can give you. I like how you put your own brand on it. But this is considered the most pure cipher. And then the other 2 are just the reverse alphabetic order. Running Z to 1 back to A is 26, and the reverse alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. And, you know, names like Jackie. Jackie's 42 in that cipher. Think about it. Jackie Robinson, number 42. Think about Tuskegee, 42. You know, think about slavery, 42. In the most pure cipher, February's 42, Black History Month. You know, in the most simple cipher, the bus is 42, Black History on the Bus. You think about names like Huxtable from The Cosby Show, 42. You think about Cosby Show itself, 42. You know, the N-word's 42. The Slang Brothers is 42. You know, some of the biggest stars in sports, LeBron James, 42. Just the list goes on. They're just 42 stamped all over Black history. Plus, LeBron's born on the only day in the calendar year where you can add the day and the month, and it's 42. December 30th, which also happens to be Tiger's birthday. But every time you get a black quarterback in the Super Bowl, they do this 42 ritual, and it's just so transparent. And notice at this last Super Bowl, they kept showing the camera on Russell Wilson. And how did the game end? It ended with Mahomes throwing an interception in the end zone, just like how, Russell Wilson did against Brady in Super Bowl 49. You know what I mean? Just straight mockery. Straight mockery. And, the Seahawks, for example, when they won their only Super Bowl, Seattle Seahawks is 43. They won it 43-8. And Seahawks alone is 48. That was Super Bowl 48. And that was the 94th NFL season. Seattle, Washington, 94. Russell Wilson's grandfather died at 94 shortly after. Again, this is the system. Gematria, alphabetic order, forwards and backwards. This is why we lock it down in murder sports every year, because we know this system, the system that they use. This is why at the end of the year you don't see me making excuses about, oh man, Vegas got in on my picks and flipped it. It was going to be the Jaguars and whatever other shitty ass team he picked. He's like, oh, instead they're going with the Golden Boy. It's like, no, dude, the Super Bowl was in stone, man. There were so many rituals throughout the year. And it's just like the year that we knew the Warriors were going to beat the Cavs. We were confident about it, and RFG was going back and forth and saying we were wrong and we're the Gematria ass clowns and there's going to be pie in our face. Nah. But did he learn anything? No, he just kept talking shit, and he continues to talk shit 4 years later. And he's been talking shit the whole time. I just been ignoring it. But you know what? I realized, everybody who follows this guy, because he's up to 83,000 subscribers now, I think. It's not bad for, it's not bad. That's not bad for you, RFG, man. You don't deserve any subscribers, honestly. But, again, RFG, my channel's been deleted 19 times, and I just had to start over again a year ago, and that channel's back up to 79,000 and some subscribers, Think about that. In a year, man. And it's hard to regrow your channel. Your people don't just come right back, A year before that, I was up to 70-some thousand subscribers. They deleted me. A year before that, same thing. It just keep getting deleted. So I'm back up to 79 point something. What are you at? The self-proclaimed chosen one. And who calls himself that? Oh, I guess you're at 86. Okay. Good for you. Good for you. But realize, unless they delete me again, which might happen, that channel's suspended right now. And it's very likely I get deleted again. But if they don't delete me soon, I'm going to pass you again soon, man. And I'm just saying, you could do better if you put out better information and you actually help people out instead of just collecting their money off bad picks and making excuses. And good for you that you got the Super Bowl right this year when it was down to 2 teams. I know that's a hard thing for you to do, but you did it this year. And really, it wasn't a hard call, because you were right. They weren't going to give it to Mahomes in the year of the GOAT, And again, look at it, man. He became 7-3 in Tampa, Florida. It's not hard to see why in Gematria. Tampa, Florida is 73. You see how it's also 116, like how Tampa made it to the 116th World Series. And by the way, before the baseball season began, we said why the Dodgers would beat the Braves in the NLCS and why the Dodgers would win the 116th World Series in the Mookie Betts 4-2 African-American New Jackie ritual. African-American 116. And we knew it'd be over the Braves because the Braves got that native symbolism, which connects to the real natives, which are definitely black people. And again, it's why the only 3 black quarterbacks to ever win the Super Bowl all played for native teams. Chiefs, Redskins, and Seahawks. And the Seahawks get their symbolism from the local Native American tribe in Seattle, which is named after Chief Seattle. So, again, you learn what's actually going on, and you learn the real code. You see this stuff. Brady becomes 7-3 in Tampa, Florida, 7 months and 3 days after his mom's birthday. 73 is the 21st prime in his 21st season to start 21. And we told people 2 weeks in advance. I put it out for free. I said, watch what happens in the Texas Tech Kansas State game the night before the Super Bowl. I said, that'll be your clue. Of course, Texas Tech, Patrick Mahomes' old school, won with 73 points. They do this stuff every year. They sync up a college basketball game perfectly with the Super Bowl. Don't ask me how they do it, but they do it every year. So, again, Gematria is not rocket science. I didn't have both teams right to start the year before. We thought the Chiefs would win the Super Bowl before the season began last year, Super Bowl 54, which was correct. And we saw in week 3 it could be against the Niners, but there were some other teams out there we were trying to shake out. It was a little bit trickier the year before. But, the year before Super Bowl 53, we had it dead on. We had Patriots beating Los Angeles. Los Angeles 53, Patriots 53, Super Bowl 52, we had it figured out in week 3. We knew the Patriots would be in the Super Bowl before the season began. We were looking for that NFC team. In week 3, we saw why it would be the Eagles. Donald Trump took on the NFL flag protesters on September 23rd, 23/9, like 239 the 52nd prime. And we said, there it is, the flag sewn at 239 Arch Street in Philly. It's going to be Philly versus the team with the flag on the helmet. And again, that year the Super Bowl was in Minnesota. Minnesota's got that 52, right? So the year before that, Super Bowl 51, RFG and I were both off before the season began. And I did see the huge ritual that they did with the Patriots at the Cardinals in the primetime football. I still remember Jimmy Garoppolo was starting that year. Brady was suspended for Deflategate, all script. But I remember the Patriots were 13.5-point underdogs at the Cardinals to start the season on the 112th Meridian. And they did some serious Super Bowl rituals in that game. And by the way, I mean, we got a nice payout on the game that night because we saw it was in the bag for Jimmy G, who had the perfect ritual. But I said that game, I said, damn, because I was on the Colts before the season began. And I know RFG took credit that year because an article was written about how an amateur numerologist on YouTube caused more money than ever was bet before on a team in the offseason to be bet on the Colts, and RFG thought that was him. But RFG, let's be honest, bro, you had, one thing to your name? We'd been murdering sports. Futures in all leagues, picks every week, just put out for free, just killing sports. And then you wanted to take credit? I don't think they were talking about you, my man. Not even close. But anyway, it ended up not being the Colts, but I said that week in week 1, I said, man, I might be tripping on the Colts. That was a major Super Bowl ritual, and then it just went on and on with the Patriots. And, through that season, we said, okay, the Super Bowl's on 2/5, 5/2. Brady and Belichick can become 5-2. That's exactly what happened. And they did it over the Falcons, 25. With the 25-point comeback on 2/5. That was the 97th NFL season, the 25th prime. Bill Belichick got that 97, And then the year before that, Super Bowl 50, RFG and I, we both had it right early in the season. We know who put it out first. It wasn't RFG. But I explained why the Panthers would lose to the Broncos, why Von Miller would be the MVP, because Von Miller was number 58. And see, RFG couldn't see things like this because he was not knowing Gematria. But the Black Panther Party was founded in Oakland. I counted it up. I said, look, 57 quarterbacks have started in Super Bowls today. 57. And if it's Manning, he's already been there. And if he faced Cam Newton would be the 58th quarterback to start in a Super Bowl. And that mattered because Huey P. Newton, the founder of the Black Panther Party in the Bay Area where Super Bowl 50 was, Huey P. Newton, Cam Newton, Huey P. Newton's name equaled 58. So I said, think about it. It's perfect. Peyton Manning sucks. He's throwing wounded ducks. If he's going to win the Super Bowl, it's going to have to be defensive. You could have Cam Newton be the 58th quarterback to start in a Super Bowl. He could come out and lay an egg. Von Miller could be a beast. Number 58, drafted 1 pick after Cam Newton. I said the whole ritual makes sense. They do this stuff by the numbers. And I didn't have, I didn't have the track record back then because I started this in 2013, but I was already confident by this point from what I knew. And I said, watch, Von Miller MVP, Cam Newton loses to Manning, Manning rides off into the sunset, number 18 in his 18th season. Don't forget that game started with an 18-yard pass from Manning, number 18 to 81. But back when I did this, you guys, back when I made this call, I did not know reverse gematria back then, so I didn't know Huey P. Newton equaled 131 and 41 like Super Bowl. I wasn't aware of that. You see that? 131-41. Oakland's also got that 131-41. All I knew about was the 58 thing. But look at this. Cam Newton birthday. I want you to see this. He's born in the same year Huey P. Newton died. He was born on May 11th. May 11th is the 131st day of the year. The 131st day of the year. 131, right? Now check this out. Huey P. Newton, date of death. He died in 89 on August 22nd. And look at this about August 22nd. Again, Cam Newton was born in 89. August 22nd leaves 131 days left in the year. You see this? This is how scripted the reality is that we're living out. I guarantee you, the day that Huey P. Newton was murdered, Cam Newton is a baby boy. Because again, this is somebody with incredible genetics. This is someone that was born and bred to be and trained to be the pro athlete that they are for their future quarterback role on the Carolina Black Panthers. But I guarantee you, when he was born, when Huey P. Newton was murdered, it was all planned out. You know, that Super Bowl 50 would be in the Bay Area, San Francisco 50, right? That Super Bowl was on the 38th day of the year, Panthers 38, just like how the Panthers got beat in Super Bowl 38, and then they got beat on the 38th day of the year. by Manning from Colorado. And you see how Colorado's 38? And now we just had our next Super Bowl on the 38th day of the year, Super Bowl 55. The last one was 50 with Manning. And notice Florida's also got that 38, right? Florida wins it. Colorado wins it on the 38th day of the year. Super Bowl 50 was the golden anniversary. Gold. Whoops, I just want gold. Gold is 38. Think about it. The golden anniversary, Super Bowl 50. San Francisco named after the gold rush, the 49ers. Colorado, a land of mountains and gold. All this stuff is ritual. And then you see how they back it up with their code. And they have all this stuff planned years in advance. And, you know, RFG, he could be using this knowledge and he'd be taking his work further. There's a reason this man, you know, won't do it. And remember, you've seen RFG, how people coach him from behind the thing and his eyes are looking all over. He got handlers, RFG. I don't have any handlers. I don't know who RFG's handlers are, but it's obvious he has handlers. People talking to him from behind the camera, eyes looking all over. Somebody telling RFG to keep talking shit about Gematria. You know? So you want to keep following RFG and leaving comments. Like before this, I saw somebody in there going, I like both of you. I don't want to hear that shit. You like a shill? Get the fuck off my channel. I don't like people who support shills and whack-ass information and people who rob and steal from people and people who are liars and frauds. That's what RFG is. He's proven that. He continues to talk shit about this work when his work and resume isn't jack fucking shit. He hasn't proven a goddamn thing about anything. You know? I don't like people who are like, oh, why can't we all get along? I don't want to get along with frauds, liars, and thieves. Are you serious? Anyway, you know, just compare the work quality. Compare the resume. There's no comparison. Everything I said is all facts. And again, just see the recent work we're doing and what we do every year. Show how all these people are murdered and sacrificed and how you can see through it so clearly with Gematria. RFG doesn't cover any of this. He doesn't cover all the people murdered and offed. No, and he doesn't have any way to prove it. You know? Nobody has any way to prove it. If you don't have this knowledge, you don't really have any way to prove anything. All you're doing is talking and speculating. And, I mean, look at most of the truth community. The whole truth community thought Trump was going to get reelected. We told you all year why it was going to be Biden. It was clear as day. It was clear as day. Look at this, you guys. The Catholics and the Jesuits run the show. You see how Catholics 145 and 46? The Catholic Bible has 145 more chapters in it than the Protestant Bible, and the Catholic Old Testament has 46 books, as opposed to the Protestant Old Testament that has 39 books. Now, JFK was the only Catholic president to date. He was number 35 and killed at age 46 until Joe Biden, who just became number 46. And if you measure from the Pope's birthday, the first Jesuit Pope, who represents the Catholic Church, his birthday is December 17th. If you measure from his birthday to the election on November 3rd, it was exactly 46 weeks later. And remember, Joe Biden's son died in 2015 at age 46. Big number with the Catholics. And if you go back to Beau Biden's death, he died 201 days from Pope Francis's birthday. 201 matters because it's like Inauguration Day, 20/1. And notice, if you write out the Jesuit order, it's 201. If you write out the founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola. Am I spelling right? I'm spelling wrong. Ignatius of Loyola is 201. If you write out Pope Francis' birth name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, it's 201. He's the first ever pope to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican in an apartment that's called the Domus Sanctae Martyr, 201. And, you know, the Jesuits right now, they're taking over the world. There's a reason Tom Brady had 201 passing yards in the Super Bowl. It's the same reason Clayton Kershaw set the strikeout record in the postseason of the World Series with his 201st strikeout. You know? Go look it up. Brady had 201 passing yards on the Super Bowl. 201 is the number of the Jesuits. And you might have noticed in the fourth quarter before the punter shanked the ball out of bounds, they brought up that he went to a Jesuit high school. Again, the Jesuits run the show. And again, this whole coronavirus pandemic, go look at the Event 201 coronavirus outbreak simulation of October 18th, 2019. The same day the Military World Games began in Wuhan, China, and if you look up the history of the Military World Games, they trace back to 1995 in Rome. And they were created by Jesuits. And the Jesuits were recognized by Rome on the day leaving 95 days left in the year to counter the 95 Theses. And with regards to the reflection of 201, it is 102, and Wuhan, China's 102. Have you ever heard of Art of War? The Jesuits translated Art of War. The Jesuit logo's the sun. Supposedly Sun Tzu, a fictional character, wrote Art of War. It's just bogus. It's just bogus history. The Jesuits wrote Art of War. And it's a historical fact that they translated it from supposedly Sun Tzu, who there's no evidence of ever existed. And they say he died at 46, even though there's no historical record ever of a Sun Tzu. But Art of War is 102. World War is 102. The American Civil War began on the 102nd day of the year. That's why they, staged the killing of George Perry Floyd 201 and 102. Right before they tore down all the Confederate statues. Look up the American Civil War. It began April 12th, 1861, the 102nd day of the year. It bankrupted the nation, and the Catholic Church came in and bought up Washington, D.C. It's been an independent city-state ever since. On June 19th, they tore down the Albert Pike statue. From June 19th to the staged insurrection in D.C. on January 6th, 6/1, like how the Civil War began in 1861. That was 201 days later. And they flew the Confederate flag through the Capitol. See how you can do all this with Gematria? Everything I'm saying is facts. You doubt any of it, look it all up. June 19th, Juneteenth, the day the slaves were freed, the Albert Pike statue came down, the only Confederate war general in D.C., 201 days later, the Confederate flag flying through the Capitol. And realize, before that day happened, we said that the theme would be the Civil War. We saw all of this that would happen before it happened, just like the same way we call the sports. We call the news, the elections, the sports. True story. In 2020, I put out 10 dates for hurricanes to make landfall. It hit on 9 out of 10 dates, and the one date it didn't hit, a hurricane formed in the ocean. And how do we do that? Because it's the same shit every year. On the 52 dates, you'd be amazed at how many times hurricanes hit and floods hit. Hurricane 52, flood 52, Earth 52. Again, it's just like how Vice News wrote this article, hating. Because I said, this one year that the World Series was going to be the Astros over the Dodgers because Harvey pitched in Houston right after Hurricane Harvey. He was the first pitcher there after the flooding of Harvey, and he pitched there 52 days before the start of the World Series. We're already looking at these teams anyway. I said it's a done deal. Done deal. And they write this hating-ass article. They even get a dude, Sean Newell, to write the article. They even get a guy to clown on my 52 prediction, which was dead on, with a 52 name. Again, this is how you know Gematria is the truth. And, by the way, RFG, you always want to take credit for what happened in 2016. I'm telling you, it wasn't you. And just to make a point, did USA Today write the article about you, about the pick between the Broncos and Panthers? You know why they didn't write it about you? Because you weren't the first one to call it. You copied me, and we both know it. And I wasn't even mad at you back then. Back then, I gave you props. I said, I didn't accuse you of copying me, even though I knew that was the case. But I said, this young man, he's going to do something right here. Because that's the thing about RFG. He's younger than me. But I've given him plenty of time to prove he's not a bitch. All he's ever done is prove he's a bitch. And back then, even though you copied, I was like, well, at least somebody else is getting out the right message, No article was written about you because you're not the trendsetter and you're not bringing anything to the table other than mostly bullshit. And you know what? You'd do a lot better to just start copying me again, because then you'd actually be helping your people out. And honestly, I did watch the rest of your video on your Super Bowl 55 call once it was down to the final two teams. And I can't say for sure, but you were giving out a lot of information that I'd been giving out for weeks on Patreon. So somebody in your community might have gotten your ear that got the information from us, but then again, maybe you did your homework over there. So I do know you have some research skills. I won't tear you all the way down, but again, man, your resume is like a big diarrhea fart sound. Ours just, it's like a golden pyramid over here, So, you want to keep misleading your people? You're not going to have that many people. And you know what? I mean, look at it. You got that many subs, but you're not getting that many views. So maybe people already figured you out, Maybe they already figured you out, my man. And, yeah, I think I'll leave it there. And you don't want to make this mistake of trying to respond and talk some shit. That's not going to work out for you. That's never worked out in the past. You better just, let all this sink in right here and step your game up. We don't want to pull out resumes. All right, Truth Seeker. Until next time.